Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the two huge wins that Zack Snyder fans are celebrating right now from the 2022 Oscars that happened last night. And yes, we are going to be talking about the slap heard around the world. It's going to be a huge loss for the DCEU Deadshot, and not Deadshot specifically, but the man who plays Deadshot for the DCEU, and that's Will Smith, of course. I have some strong opinions on it. Curious to know what your thoughts are on the whole slap heard around the world situation. It's very unfortunate all around, but I will talk about my thoughts. And I'm curious to know that I've been having this discussion all day at the office. So curious to know what you guys thought. But first off, I apologize for the lack of videos. Been trying to start up an online business that I'm working on. I'll share with you guys when I have it up and running. But that's been taken away from a lot of my time. And Darren's real busy at his new job. So anyways, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. It does help us out and keeps us motivated to make more and engage with you guys. But anyways, outside of that, let's talk about the first one and two topics of today. And that's, of course, the wins for Zack Snyder's work on Zack Snyder's Justice League, as well as Army of the Dead. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you here. Let's take a look at an article from Forbes. And here we are. It says Zack Snyder fans give the 2022 Oscars, sorry about that, 2022 Oscars what they deserve. And I'm reading this and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. This is not the most positive article, but it does put things into perspective. So I'll give you guys my thoughts. This guy has kind of a negative take on what happened, but I'll talk about why it's a positive for us, Zack Snyder fans. Anyways, let's read it. It says, if you have spent quite literally any amount of time on the internet at all, you could easily see something absurd on the horizon for the Oscars' latest attempt to appeal to a more mainstream crowd by cutting technical or less watched categories and replacing them with more blockbuster friendly and most importantly, fan chosen awards. The Oscars all but guaranteed ceding power to a very particular group, Zack Snyder fans. And that's very true, because he's going to talk about in a second what awards. Obviously, the Oscars viewership has been trending downwards for the past like 6 or 7 years, and there is so much counter programming to the Oscars. It's hard for people to get really geared up for an event that celebrates the like top 1% in society, and just watching them get their accolades. Of course, us movie fans do hold a little bit of interest in it, but especially we hold interest when there's something in it that we are so very passionate about. Of course, that's the two awards that the Oscars put up on the plate here. We'll talk about that. Let's continue. Zack Snyder fans have a long history of taking over social media and drowning fan pools with their extreme love for the director and his movies, especially his work in the DC universe, his Snyderverse. What happened at the 2022 Oscars was that the Academy ran two awards: the Oscars cheer moment and the Oscars fan favorite, which were social media run polls that were meant to give some mainstream blockbusters attention to the actual nominations by actual film critics, and members would not. In a marketing meeting somewhere, you could imagine someone saying, what if we can give an Oscar to the moment where Captain America said, Avengers Assemble, and it evolved from there. And as you can see, and a lot of fans kind of felt that online, that this was just a way for the Oscars to try to get a lot of the young and capitalize on the MCU hype train by including these awards that really have nothing to do with any of the movies that came out that year for the most part. Of course, Zack Snyder's Justice League did, and Army of the Dead have as well. But you could tell a lot of fans felt like these awards were they were going to be given to some sort of MCU movie. Of course, they wanted a lot of those people to tune in. But this author is not wrong. Zack Snyder fans, release the Snyder Cut / Restore the Snyderverse fan base is huge, and they are relentless. That's what I could say about them. That is totally true. Like any fandom, there's going to be some toxic parts, but last night I was actually loving the energy. It was all positive. There wasn't no one really getting on anyone, just celebration. But anyways, let's continue. But while they may have expected say Spider-Man No Way Home to get some press and some young viewership for these awards, instead they set up Snyder fans for a layup. Snyder devotees decided they'd push for the moment in the HBO Max release of Zack Snyder's Justice League cut, where the Flash enters the Speed Force and rewinds time to save everyone as the best cheer moment. And since the rules made the Snyder Cut ineligible for the fan favorite prize, they instead went with Army of the Dead, Snyder's zombie heist movie he did for Netflix. Yeah, of course, Snyder fans, I salute you guys, especially those of you that push hard for the campaign here. And again, you set him up for a layup. This author is totally correct. I am not disagreeing with anything he said. There were those naysayers saying that there's no way we're gonna win, but I definitely hashtagged it. I voted myself, not as much as some of you guys probably did, just because I've been busy. But anyways, let's continue reading. Look, I like Army of the Dead. I also thought the flash rewinding time during that one part of Justice League was kind of cool. And this is where I'm going to hugely disagree with this. Kind of cool? Come on, man. That was some epic superhero cinema right there. So I'm gonna disagree. That's my first disagreement with this guy. Anyways, he says, and yet what I like most is just how embarrassing this already embarrassing attempt at pandering turned out to be for the Academy. Again, anyone paying any amount of attention to the goings on of the comic book movie fan base wars could have told you that this was a dream moment for Snyder fans to stuff ballots. And I mean, they didn't break any rules so far as I can tell, but it sure looks pretty goofy when your fan choice poll gives an award to a movie that hit #1 on Netflix for a couple days, while Spider-Man came in at #4 with 1.8 billion at the box office. #3 was a movie I'd never heard of called Mani Mata, which stars Johnny Depp, again propelled by what appears to be a hyper online fan base. Now, again, I don't disagree with the guy. But part of what the Oscars are trying to do is somewhat successful. People tuned in. I'm curious to see. Well, actually, I think the numbers were out already, and this was still like the second lowest Oscars viewership they've ever had. So he's right. Everyone's laughing at them. It is an embarrassing way to pander to the audiences, but at least they're trying. Fans online, I had fun seeing fans rally together for these things. But it's funny, like he points out that a Johnny Depp movie that no one's ever heard of came in at #3. So again, we didn't break any rules. They said to vote as many times as you want, and what do you know? They won. And supposedly even there was a Discovery Restore the Snyderverse banner flying above the Oscars ceremony, that's so awesome because it reminds me of the Release the Snyder Cut movement so bad. Let's finish this out. In any case, I doubt there will be a year 2 of the Cheer Moment Award for a fan favorite offering. Populism will probably take a new form, but the Oscars will probably have a more pressing things to deal with. Literally, as I'm writing this, Will Smith just slapped Chris Rock in the face. So we're going to talk about that one in just a second. But anyways, so Army of the Dead also won, and as he said, Zack Snyder fans, they are so fervently, for him and his success that we all rallied together and voted for Army of the Dead as well. And you know what? I loved Army of the Dead. I love Zack Snyder's Justice League, and especially the Speed Force moment. And especially, I really loved Zack Snyder as a director and a person. He seems like a genuine person, such a cool guy, and his appeal, it's so easily to why he appeals to so many people. But anyways, yeah, so fans are celebrating online, and the coolest part about all of this is that Toby Emmerich, who obviously is a part of the Warner Brothers, list of people that DC fans want fired because of his part in the Justice League situation. He got to see this on screen. Supposedly, he passed up on Army of the Dead. They didn't know what to do with it, passed it up, sold it to Netflix, and of course, they had to bite the bullet and release the Snyder Cut, so to say. And he had to see this play out right in front of him at the Oscars, which is totally awesome. I absolutely love that. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. I'm just so happy for Zack Snyder because I think he did post on Vero afterwards and just said, you guys are the best fans. And such a humble guy. I love to see him get the wins, and I'm excited for his new projects going forward as well. I would love for Discovery to restore the Snyderverse, but we shall see. I'm not holding my breath, but we shall see. Anyways, let's move on to the last topic of this video, and of course, it has to do with the slap road round the world from our Deadshot, Will Smith. Oh my gosh. I wasn't watching this live, but man, I tuned in once I saw this happen. It was live tweeted by people. Will Smith just smacked the hell in Chris Rock's. He just smacked the hell out of him. Basically, Chris Rock, he said a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's. I mean, he didn't really target her hair, but basically he said something to the extent of, Jada, I'm looking forward to G.I. Jane 2. And for those of you that are not aware, Jada Smith chose to shave her head because she's suffering from something called alopecia, where she loses patches of her hair. Something I've experienced in my early 20s, which was so stressful for me. And I know that some of you have experienced it probably as well. Luckily enough, I had a dermatologist who really, really tried to help me. Whereas some of the dermatologists I work with now, not so helpful in that regard, but he did give me shots in my head that helped them grow back. For the most part, you can't even tell that I had any hair patch loss. But anyways, Jada Pinkett Smith didn't like it. Will Smith was laughing at first, and then he looks over to Jada, and I'm sure that's what set him off. Saw her in distress, walked up to the stage. Chris Rock, let's pull it up right here. Chris Rock, he took it like a champ, man. I gotta say, he took it like a champ. He knew Will Smith was coming. I'm not gonna play the sound, but here you can see the slap. Boom. That was, and if you listen to it, the mic captures everything. That was no child slap. That was no playful slap. He slapped the hell out of him. And at the time I said, bro, that's our dead shot. Someone explain the context, because I wasn't watching live. But anyways, he goes on to say, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. And then Chris Rock says, it was a G.I. Jane joke. And he says, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. Chris Rock handles it cool, plays the high ground, and says, okay, I will. And then plays it off real well, says, you just saw the greatest moment in TV. And man, kudos to Chris Rock, man. I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of Will Smith's too, which is why it's a little disappointing. My point of view on this whole situation, I said it right here. Said in my mid-20s, I started losing patches of my hair. My dermatologist said it was alopecia, gave me cortisone injections, and with my luck, it grew back. I can see why Jada didn't like it or felt hurt, but maybe it could have brought more, Will could have brought more awareness to the fact that he had touched a sensitive nerve. And maybe if he did walk up there, which I don't think he should have, he could have done that instead and just asked Chris to apologize right then and there. And, I think resorting to physical violence at any time is a mistake. And that's my whole thing on it, for the most part, he compared Jada to a super strong, iconic female. So I didn't think that it was warranted to get up there. So anyways, that's my whole point on it. I know people talk about he's defending her, but if we're gonna move the goalposts to that fact where if someone doesn't like a joke, you get to hit them, then I think society's moving in the wrong direction. So there's a thing called freedom of speech for a reason. I don't think that speech, especially this in the context of the situation. He comes to this event. He's in the front row. He knows he's gonna get roasted on. If you've ever been to the comedy show, it's not fun to be in the front if you got sensitive feelings. You're gonna get roasted on. I've experienced that myself. So in the context, I don't think Will should have done that. I think he was totally in the wrong, and he actually did apologize for it. Finally, he actually won the award for best actor in King Richard, and in The Smith, he doesn't directly apologize to Chris, but now he does. So let's take a look at that apology. It says, Will Smith apologizes to Chris Rock for Oscar slap. I was out of line and I was wrong. So let's read it. It says, violence in all its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. Smith wrote, I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There's no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to Academy, the producer of the show, and all the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us, and I'm a work in progress. So, very good statement from Will Smith. Again, I've seen people in the comment section kind of saying, no, you're done for life. You should be banned. Take your Oscar away. And, you know, you can't answer it. I'm just, someone. This seems like a very genuine apology. Obviously, he didn't apologize the night of, which would have been better. But he was full of emotions, like he says in there. And I think the world has to do a better job of learning to forgive. And you go onto Twitter. That's probably not the place you're going to find forgiveness. But I think a lot of us real in the real world can really feel Will Smith. I saw what he did, and no matter what he tries to rationalize with it, he should never expressed it through actual violence or physical harm on another person. So that's my thoughts on it. I'm curious to know what your thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I do enjoy making these videos. Hopefully, I'll see you guys later on this week. Peace.